Hey guys, we are back. Happy Wednesday. You know the drill. It is Crucible talk and coffee. Now, for all of you guys that follow along with my Crucible videos, I did want to give you an update because I had a lot of technical difficulties because of our Wi-Fi on our last round 3 and was not able to get the video uploaded. We did end up winning. And for any of you guys out there that are curious, we did move into Masters 2, so that's awesome. The way our score's sitting right now, if we have a big week this coming weekend, we could actually move into Masters 3 at the end of this coming weekend. So that's super exciting. We are on our march to someday hopefully get into Grand Masters. So I appreciate you guys being along for the ride and being on the journey with me. But today we're not talking about that, okay? We are going into week 4. So I wanted to have a conversation with you guys about some of the stuff that I've learned and come across, kind of like a do and don't video for Crucible Season 15, to kind of help you guys and share some of the stuff that I've come across that may help you guys as you're finishing up the final weeks of Season 15. So we're going to kind of discuss some different things with different rooms. Excuse me. We're kind of getting close to getting over this throat stuff, but hopefully it's going to be gone by the end of the week. It's getting highly aggravating. All right, so we're going to start in room 1, and we're just going to kind of do a refresher. This room is combat support. This is the room that, depending on what ISO your characters have, they're going to leave a certain amount of vulnerables on the other side. So essentially for fortifier and healer characters, you're going to leave 1 vulnerable on any enemy you attack. If you have a striker character, you're going to leave 3. And skirmisher and raiders, you're going to leave 2. Now, of course, any amount of vulnerables on a toon when they attack is going to increase their damage by 100% per vulnerable. So, essentially, the idea behind this room is, on defense, you want to have a tanky defense that can absorb some hits, grab some vulnerables, and then when you finally get around to attacking, you're hitting with crazy damage. Now, on the flip side, on offense, you absolutely want to bring in a team that's going to be fast, going to go first. But the main thing is you've got to get these toons that are on defense killed before they take turns, because you're going to load them up with vulnerables, and if you don't have them gone before they start taking turns, you're going to be in trouble. Now, we have seen a multitude of different things used in room 1. On defense, it's been pretty accurately the same for the most part. I haven't seen too many changes in room 1. It's essentially going to be Phoenix Force. Most people are going to have in-game Thanos and Gladiator. The 5th has been rotating. I've seen Hercules. I've seen Super Skrull. I've seen Doctor Strange. I've seen Quasar. However, almost every single room I've come in has those main 4. Now, ultimately, you've got a couple different options on offense here. 1, you can bring Mephisto, and then you don't have to worry about anything because there's no revives, and Phoenix can't come back to life. So if you come into this room with Mephisto, if you're able to kill Phoenix and Omega, you do not have to worry about them coming back because no one can revive with Mephisto on the field. However, if you come in here with anyone else, for the most part, for safety and efficiency, as soon as you kill everyone, you're going to want to pause the game before Phoenix comes back, and then she does her special, takes 20% of your health, and brings Omega back. Now, I have consistently used Starjammers in this room, and they have worked for me every single round. However, it is very much based off of timing and who you attack and the attack order. So, Starjammers is definitely heavily RNG. If you get the RNG in your favor when you get to Lilandra's ultimate. If you kill everyone, or kill everyone except for one, and then Phoenix comes back, with Starjammers, you're going to get an opportunity to attack her again before she does her special, because Howard is stopping her speed bar and speed stat. So Starjammers can work. Just be aware it is heavily RNG, and it's very heavily based on your timing. Now, of course, you can bring in big teams, throw in, some mythics in there, bring in Odin, Noel, those types of teams. A lot of people don't want to tie those big tunes up in room 1. Now, I've seen a lot of people that are using Liberty. I've seen Liberty work. I've seen Liberty not work. So, essentially, the moral of the story is, in room 1, it's very RNG based, and it's very heavily based on your timing, regardless of who you bring in here, unless you just come in extremely over the top with huge tunes in here. Now, the other thing I will tell you is, do not bring Vigilante into this room. There is a bug that is involved with trauma, and if one of your Vigilante get killed, you're done. Because it requires the full team for Silver Sable to do all of her damage, and essentially, if you lose anybody before Silver Sable takes a turn, there's no way you can win. So, I do not recommend bringing Vigilante in here, and just be aware, it's going to be pretty heavily RNG, no matter who you bring in here, unless you just go over the top. Now, room 2 has been pretty consistent. Every single round I've faced essentially the exact same team, which has been Night Stalkers with Scientist Supreme. My recommendation in here, I've seen 2 different counters work very well. That is a mirror match with Big Time Spider-Man or Illuminati. Now, you can also bring Starjammers in here too. They will walk over this room, but it is very heavily... it's overkill using Starjammers in here. If you don't have anywhere else that you have to have them, they're going to get through this really efficiently, but just be aware you do have some other options. Now, room 3 is going to be pretty consistent as well. Some type of Kahori mixture. Now, this room is kind of strange because you absolutely can walk through this room with Immortal X-Men. However, you've got a 40% chance that Omega Sentinel is going to stun your Storm. If she stuns your Storm, you're done. There is no way that you can recover. There's no way you can win. So, if you don't have anything else to bring in here, then you can use them, and you may have to reset a couple times and take a couple dropped attacks. It's really a coin flip. Outside of that, you can do a Kahori mirror match, but if they bring in Quasar or Apocalypse, it gets really, really tricky, because Apocalypse is going to stun Kahori, and if Quasar's in there, he's going to rewind Kahori's speed. So even if you bring Loki, you can't win. So my recommendation in this room is either Illuminati or a bigger team. Kind of like in room 1, you're going to need to bring in somebody bigger, like Odin, Mephisto, something of that nature. Now, again, if you're facing a really turtle defense and you've got to use all of your other people somewhere else, you can come into this room with Immortal, flip the coin, and see whether or not you're going to get Storm stunned or not. Sometimes you don't have a choice, and that's the route you have to go. Just be aware of that. Room 4, there's really not a whole lot to talk about here. It is... the damage is going to be... what is the word that I'm looking for here? Do damage... Yeah. Damage is going to stick. It's going to reduce your max health, so there is no healing and recovering from the damage that's done in this room. There's really no consistency in here. I see different teams in here every single round, so there's not a whole lot to discuss here. Obviously, A lot of times people are bringing in their bigger teams in here, like the Odins, Professor X's, things of that nature. So it's kind of one of those things, you're just going to have to take that room however you get to it. Now, room 5, pretty consistently, every single match I've come up against Thunderbolts. Now, most people have their full Thunderbolts in here. I do not. I have Hela. Every time someone kills one of her Gregs, it rewinds the other team. I think it's 10%, might be 15%. Correct me in the comments, guys. But there is a rewind on the other side of the field every time a Greg dies. Now, here's the thing. Cabal is going to walk over this room, and they're going to walk over this room whether you have a full Thunderbolts or you have Hela in here. So my way of thinking is I really like having Songbird on offense. So I'm putting Hela in here. Essentially the same exact teams can beat this room. Cabal is a surefire win in here every time. I have seen people doing Vigilante and Thunderbolt mirrors in here. I would tell you that if you're going to come in this room with Vigilante, you better be overpowered. Because if you come in against a Thunderbolts that is basically the same size as your Vigilante, you have a very high probability of things going sideways. So just be aware of that. If you're going to bring Vigilante in here, you certainly can. Just be sure that you are a bigger Vigilante than they are Thunderbolts for sure. And then room 6, I have essentially seen a Liberty team with either full Liberty, Lizard. I'm using Ultimus because Ultimus is going to stop them from bringing in Superior 6. But realistically, you can beat this room with Illuminati. You can beat this room with Vigilante. Obviously, you can beat this room with Starjammers. So you've got a bunch of options when it comes to that. Now, I know we're coming up on week 4, and I'm sure there's going to be some changes that occur. And I'm not, for any of you guys that are looking at this, there's no guarantee this is going to be the defense that I take into this coming weekend. This is the defense I ended last weekend with. I have been thinking about making some changes. I'm not really sure yet. But these are consistent rooms that I've been seeing pretty much the whole entire tournament or the whole entire season so far. So I wanted to talk to you guys, kind of give you some insight on a couple of the things that I've come across, what I've learned, and maybe some of this can help you guys as you move through the rest of the season. And obviously, if you guys have any comments, anything you've been seeing, share it in the comments down there. Share that information with the rest of the community. You might help them get a victory. So with that, I don't really have anything else that I've been seeing that's real crazy that I think that we really need to talk about. But let's have a conversation down there. If you're seeing something different that you're struggling with, you haven't been able to figure out how to beat it, and you're seeing it consistently depending on what bracket you're in, drop it in the comments. As a community, we can work together and help each other get through this. So until the next video, guys, you know the drill. If you got some value out of this, hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe, slap that notification bell so you get notified every time we drop a video. If you guys are interested in joining our Discord, there is a link in the description. We'd love to have you. And until next time, stay positive and enjoy the game, guys.